To all of our members. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Chris Millard from the Barmy Army. I'm the man tasked with bringing this series of Barmy Army meets to you all. To celebrate St George's Day, we're launching our very own lockdown sing-along to create a unique version of our famous anthem, Jerusalem. Send in your videos of you singing your favourite line of the classic anthem, or even the whole song if you're feeling extremely patriotic. We've already had some amazing submissions, and one man, Paul Hampshire, I will name check him, actually fell in his swimming pool. So yeah, nice that he's got a pool. Anyway, please donate all you can with the link below to Make-A-Wish Foundation. We have partnered with Make-A-Wish for this. They're bringing children with critical illness the chance of a lifetime. Before COVID-19, they had more children than ever turning up for a wish, wanting a wish. As a result of the outbreak, there's now 2,000 children waiting for a wish. Please donate all you can. On to Barmy Army Meets, what we're all here for. Barmy Army Meets is in partnership with Opening Up. Opening Up promotes mental well-being and suicide prevention through cricket. They deliver sessions with clubs and offer resources online with a focus on positive mental health. Since 2014, they've been saying it's not weak to speak to encourage conversation on what is such an important topic. Be sure to check them out on social media at openingup.com. As always, a further note to say thank you to all of our members and key workers, from NHS frontline staff, shelf stackers in the supermarkets. You're keeping the country ticking, and I want to thank you from all at the Barmy Army. So we're all still cooped up here in isolation, and we thought we'd bring you another opportunity to ask your cricketing heroes some questions. The past 3 weeks have brought us Mark Wood, Sam Curran and Liam Plunkett. If you haven't seen them yet, check them out on the Barmy Army YouTube channel. But without further ado, I'd like to bring onto the camera England's number 3. Joe, thanks for doing this for the Army, mate. It's very kind of you. How are you holding up in isolation?
Hello, mate. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, good to be on the chat. Yeah, going all right here, mate. Trying not to get too stressed with the kids, but yeah, not too bad.
Are you the chosen designated PE teacher?
Yeah, correct. All the homeschooling going on here. My topic of teaching is, of course, PE. So a lot of time spent in the garden, bouncing on trampolines and pushing swings. Not much of a PE lesson, but there you go.
Very good. Now, a little birdie told me that you once did a full year off the booze. Now, if that's correct, which I think it is, what's been harder, isolation or a year off the booze?
Isolation, without doubt. Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, to be fair, the year, that was 2016 you're talking about there. It was a bizarre one. It was yeah, I'm not very good at drinking, and I don't drink a lot, but yeah, I just thought I'd had enough of getting hungover whenever I did drink on the rare occasion, and a lot of my family and friends said that I wouldn't be able to do a year, so I went out to prove them wrong, and yeah, I had a pretty decent year actually, ironically, in 2016 with the cricket, with the bat. So maybe there's something in that.
Something in that, absolutely, yeah. So, did you do it for charity? I believe, is that right?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, coincided with raising a bit of money for charity. I decided if I was going to do it, I'd try and raise a bit, and yeah, it went pretty well.
Top man. Glad to hear it. Now, we're going to try and get as many members' questions as possible. We've already had quite a few sent in for Joe. I'll try and ask everyone's questions. The live stream is now open. We've had 2 questions on there already. Fire them in, and we'll get them all into Joe in about half an hour, 40 minutes. The first question we've had is, what was it like hearing your song for the first time? I know you've got quite a few songs, that is. So whichever song you heard first, what was that like hearing it?
Yeah, it's always a funny topic, I suppose, when you're chatting to all your teammates about various different songs. But when you hear, certainly when you're in the field, you know, fielding's pretty dull at the best of times. And when you hear a song come up and it's one about you, it certainly puts a smile on your face, that's for sure. I quite enjoy the Michael Vaughan, you've got the next Shane Warne one. That always makes me laugh. Probably one of Goss's made up songs, but yeah, no, look, whenever you hear them out in the field, they always certainly G you up, that is for sure.
Yeah, very good. Now, one of my lasting memories is of that Sunday at Headingley is hearing the Skyride, the pub where everyone was drinking, singing a team of Joe Denley's and Stokes for about 2 hours on repeat. So I think you've just got a very good name that goes with this song, and a lot of people wanting to make them up. So I'm sure we'll get a few people commenting about the songs later on. But Joe, I'm going to get it out there straight away. Alex Bean has asked you to talk us through that drop in the ash.
Talk me through what? Sorry, the drop in...
The drop catch in the Ashes, yeah. He's gone straight in.
Which one?
Did you drop more than one? I can only remember one, but it was one that will live long in the memory, I think.
Well, I don't know if you're talking about the one in New Zealand or the one in the Ashes.
So, I think it will be the one in New Zealand then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't in the Ashes. I don't remember. I remember taking a pretty decent catch in the Ashes at Lord's.
Yes, I can recall that. Yes.
But yeah, I think the catch you're talking about, which has gone down as the worst drop catch in Test history, was in New Zealand. A certain Kane Williamson.
Yeah, no big names or anything there.
Yeah, I think whenever you whack my name in Google now or YouTube or whatever, it just comes up with the worst drop catch in Test history. So that's a nice one to have.
Excellent. Well, that's something to live long in the memory, hey? Now, Joe, we've had some people ask us, Barmy Army famous for going on tours. Who would be your favourite people to go on tours with? If you could choose your favourite cricketers that you've been on tour with.
Great question. Well, touring obviously started I sort of obviously started my international career at my early 20s, and I toured a lot with the likes of Graham Onions, Liam Plunkett. I struck up a good friendship with those two guys in particular. Moeen Ali, I played under-19 cricket with, and obviously toured with him under-19s, and more recently during the winter, and played a lot of cricket with him, and always enjoy his company. Him and Adil Rashid are amazing company. I'm sure you've seen some of the videos of them two. It's comedy genius for them two together, doing either a Q&A or just asking them random questions about each other. They never fail to make you laugh. So them two, the two northern lads, Onions, Plunkett, and then probably Mo and Rash.
Fantastic. They're very funny. I know they go down very well in the changing room, though, when they're together.
Yeah, correct.
So
correct.
What's been your favourite moment in an England shirt so far? That's off Karen.
I think, well, you've already touched on it, but that day at Headingley has to be up there. That was one of the most incredible days I think I'll ever be involved in. That will never be beaten. All thanks to the great man Ben Stokes, but just a day of absolute drama. Played a little part in it, obviously, with a nice little partnership with Rooty before Stokesy sort of took over the show, and we all know what happened on that last day. But that was the most incredible day's cricket, and I don't think I'll ever be involved in a day like that. And I'm sure everyone at the ground, everyone watching on TV would probably would think the same. One of the best, if not the best, Test knocks ever by Stokesy, and one of the most amazing days ever as well.
I think that's the same for if you're a supporter, a player, officiating. I think it's just one of them incredible days that we'll all remember forever, hopefully.
Yeah.
Now, Ned Holmes on the live stream has asked, can you name your top 5 players and top 5 grounds?
Name my top 5 players that I've played with?
Yeah, that you've played with. Top 5 players that you've played with.
Oh. Yes. I never like these questions because I'm always scared of insulting someone that I miss out. Been lucky enough to play with a lot of fine players.
I don't think they'll all be watching this, mate. Don't worry.
It's hard to look past this current England team that I'm currently involved with, but Stokes and Root would be in there.
Yeah.
I'm probably just going to stick to the batters because I don't really know a lot about bowling. Because I could quite easily name either like Andersons, your Broads, and people like that. But I'll stick with batting, and I'll go Stokesy, Rooty, Alistair Cook, Kevin Peterson will probably have to be in there. Didn't play a great deal with him, but was involved in squads with him in. And then how many is that? That's 4.
That's 4. That'll do.
Yeah, let's just leave it there. Yeah.
What about grounds? What are your favourite grounds?
Grounds. Grounds. The Oval, number 1.
Yep.
Just batting paradise. Great atmosphere.
Good memories there, Joe.
Very good memories. Very, very good memories. Yeah. No, not only in an England shirt, but in a Kent shirt as well. I've always, had good memories there.
Was it 100 and a hat trick? Is that right?
Well, I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, now you mention it. Yeah, that was a good night.
I bet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Oval number 1. Where else? Tunbridge Wells. Another batting paradise.
Good shout.
Where else? Cape Town has to be up there as well. That just amazing ground. That game that we was involved in the winter in South Africa.
Yeah.
Another incredible game.
How did you find?
Actually, I quite.
Was it one of the?
Sorry.
Was that one of your most memorable games you've been involved in, that Test match?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I touched on the Headingley game, and we got bowled out for 50 odd in the first innings, so I don't think that was. It's not a memorable game, but that last day was, like I say, was incredible. But in terms of entertainment throughout 5 days, I think that Cape Town Test had pretty much everything. That series is probably is my favourite series that I've played in. A battle between 2 very evenly matched teams, I think, and that Cape Town Test had everything, didn't it? It went down to literally the last hour and on day 5, and kept everyone interested, and a very dramatic finish at the end. So yeah, that would be up there as one of my favourite tests that I've played in.
Fantastic, good to hear.
Didn't cover too many grounds there. We just got the Oval and Cape Town, didn't we?
Tunbridge Wells.
Tunbridge Wells. Yeah. We'll just go top 3 then, shall we?
Top 3. That'll do.
Yeah.
That will do. Now, one question that we have had submitted again is: what's the best practical joke that you've either played or ever seen being played in a dressing room? What you can share.
Yeah. I think I can share this. It wasn't within an England dressing room, and it was a long time ago. But I don't know if I'll get in trouble for this. But Matt Walker, our current coach at Kent, played a good prank on a certain. Remember Ian Butler, who played for New Zealand?
Yeah.
Came over and was overseas player for Kent. And basically, to cut a long story short, Walker's socks got the ends cut off of, and the Kent boys blamed it on Butler. So Walksy, when Butler left to go home, did a number 2 in a pot, cling filmed it, and just tucked it nicely in his cricket bag. So left him a nice little present for when he got home to New Zealand. That would probably be up there.
Oh, just for a pair of socks, eh? I like that.
Exactly.
Now, what's Dawid has asked on the live stream, what's the best thing about playing for Kent?
I think just being my home club, and I think that as a young lad, you grow up watching Kent, and obviously my earliest memories are going to my local club in Whitstable and watching my dad, but always keeping an eye on Kent, and any opportunity I got to go over to the St Lawrence ground at Canterbury and watch Kent was always an amazing occasion. And I suppose just being able to call that my home club, and one of the ones lucky enough to represent my county and play call that my home club is very special, and every time I walk out to play for them is always a special occasion and something I never take for granted. So I think that would probably be one of my proudest achievements.
Fantastic. And while we're on the Kent topic, Chris and Christine, who I'm guessing are from Kent, have asked who's the best overseas player that you've played alongside, and which Kent player that you've played alongside do you think should have played for England but hasn't?
I think they probably know or they're hoping I say the right answer to that second question.
Yeah, I think it's
as a lot of people have always said. But Steve-O would be the one, wouldn't he? Who would probably be pretty unlucky in terms of his record and what he's achieved. One of the incredibly talented, one of the most talented guys that I probably played with. But I think just unfortunate that England have always had pretty decent all-rounders.
Yeah.
Although he developed his bowling later on in his career, he's always predominantly been a batter. So he'd probably be up there. And the best overseas, probably for early days, Azam Mahmood, although he wasn't an overseas, but he was a genius.
Yeah.
With both bat and ball, I think and he was good in the slips. He'd be up there. But more recently, Matt Henry from New Zealand was absolutely phenomenal for us. He only played 7 or 8 county championship games and took 70 or 80 wickets. He literally every time he bowled a spell, he seemed to pick up 5 wickets. It was incredible. Those two probably be up there.
Brilliant. Great answer. Now, Will Bass on the live stream is asked, what's it like winning such a big tour away from home like South Africa?
What's it like winning the Test tour?
Away from home in South Africa on such a big tour. What's it like?
Very memorable. A lot of hard work and a lot of preparation goes into every Test tour, but I think there's always something extra special when you're away from home touring with your friends, your teammates, and like I say, all the hard work and preparation that goes into the start of beginning a tour and then obviously getting into it and taking part in, say, a four Test match series, and coming out on top at the end of that is just, you create so many great memories, memories you hold for life. And to just sit down, for example, that Cape Town Test, 5 days of absolute hard graft.
Yeah.
And to sit down at the end of that and just share a beer with the boys and I suppose talk about what the previous 5 days that have just been is very special. And like I say, you create some amazing memories.
Fantastic. So we've had another question that's come in from someone on the live stream, and they've said, I think they might have an inside track on something here, but they've said, if you could have played any other sport professionally, what would it have been?
Definitely football. I think most cricketers are probably failed footballers. We like to think we are. I'd love to have had a crack at football. I played a little bit. Charlton Athletic under 14s is my claim to fame. Top goal scorer in the Kent team for the last 10 years.
Best player
in warm-up. Best player in Kent's team.
Kent and England's team. Who's the best footballer?
Probably Kent. I'd say top 3: myself, Bilbo, and Alex Blake.
Yeah.
And then England, Joss is pretty good. Joss Butler, bit of a fiery character though. Take it a little bit too seriously sometimes.
For a warm.
But no, he's a very good footballer. He'd probably be a close second just behind me.
Good answer. We'll tell him that when he comes on.
And Chris Wokes he's definitely up there as well. He's good at everything, Chris Wokes, isn't he? He's got everything ticked. He's a very good looking lad, great lads, good cricketer, good footballer. You'd just be good at everything.
I did watch the video of the PCA put out, the players thanking the NHS. And when Wokes came on, he looked like the best groomed man in the UK. Never mind that I had a haircut for weeks. I've never seen someone's hair done so well. So but I asked for some tips.
It's like he's got a Lego head. It never moves, his head.
Right, so we're partnered with Opening Up, and they submit a couple of questions every week. They've asked, how do you look after your mental health when being an elite athlete?
Yeah, great question. I think that's a very important side of being a professional sportsman is looking after your mental health. And I think it's important that, you know, as an England team, we're lucky we have a lot of support staff. We have a psychologist that travels around with us. We have a lot of qualified guys that we can talk to, doctors, physios, that are all qualified in that kind of field. And, you know, if there's ever any issues or we're ever feeling anything, I suppose, off the field, we can always chat to those guys, and there's always that support network available for us. So we're very fortunate to have that, which is vitally important. I think it's always, you know, a good thing to open up about any negative thoughts, I suppose, you might be having. And yeah, we're very well supported in that regard. For me as well, just as you would expect, being a professional sportsman, your fitness side of things and doing all your stuff off the field, I think really helps with me anyway, staying mentally fresh. And, you know, there's not a better feeling than, you know, doing some hard graft in the gym or going for a good run. You always feel pretty good after it. So, yeah, just I suppose having that support network and just maintaining my fitness levels are really important for me.
Brilliant answer. Now, they've also asked the question, I know you started your international career fairly early, but had quite a long gap in between. How did you manage to stay on top and keep believing that you were still going to make it in the England play?
Yeah, well, that wasn't always the case. I can assure you of that. I was, you know, when I first got dropped from that England side, you know, all those years ago, all my focus was on getting back as soon as I could, and heaped so much pressure on myself. And that was literally my own focus. I moved away from Kent and went and played for Middlesex to play some first division cricket, and thought that was the best move for me. And you know, things just got on top of me really, and I went missing for a couple of years. I was playing second team cricket for Middlesex. I wasn't enjoying my cricket at all. You know, through no fault of Middlesex, it was, you know, a great club, but just I think mentally, as we touched on before, I think mentally I was in a bad place. And you know, like I say, my cricket was in quite a bad place as well, playing second team cricket. Didn't really know what the future held, and thankfully there was a bit of a lifeline from Keezy, a good friend of mine and obviously a colleague of mine for a number of years, and he sort of called me up and asked if I'd be interested in going back to Kent, and from then on, you know, it was all about trying to enjoy my cricket again, and not worrying about playing for England, ironically, and you know, really having, you know, no focus on that at all. It was just about playing for Kent, performing for Kent, enjoying my cricket, and see where it took me. And here we are today.
Absolutely, a good story by all accounts. So
yeah.
We've had a question, another one that's come in saying, which two players would you most like to be in isolation with, and why?
Which two players would I most like to be in isolation with? Oh, what, from the England team?
Yeah, let's go England team.
Okay. Well, you'd have to have. I see. You'd probably have to say Woody, because just the entertainment value. But a week in isolation with Woody, you'd be pulling your hair out, I reckon.
Yeah, that's been said before.
But yeah. Let's say Woody, and then probably Mo and Rash. just because they'd just be funny. I don't know. I'm not really ticking all bases there. I don't know who can cook. I don't know who can clean. I doubt Mo and Rash do either of them. So be a lot of responsibility on myself and Woody. But let's go with them three.
Back yourself. Very good. Now, Chris Herbst has asked, did the Centurion test throw you a bit on the South Africa tour because of the bad start?
Did it throw me a bit? Oh, what, because we lost?
Yeah, as a team, I think he means.
No, not at all. I think we always knew it was going to be a tough tour. I suppose South African cricket at the time was going through a pretty tough patch, and I suppose we probably went there as favourites, but they're full of quality players. So as much as all that was going on off the field for Cricket South Africa, it didn't surprise me that they played the cricket they did. Obviously, we would have loved to have won, and thankfully we were able to pull it back and win the series. But no, I don't think it surprised me, and I think it just made for, I suppose, a little bit of a wake-up call for us to know that it was going to be a very competitive series.
Yeah, and that it was. Now, what's the funniest thing you've ever heard from the crowd in your career?
Cool.
Tough.
This is, it is tough. Cool. Funniest thing I've heard in the crowd.
We can come back to that one.
I don't know.
Let's come.
Yeah, stump me there.
If something comes to you, we'll go again. Now, Connor Stevenson has asked, what's your best tip for getting in shape during this time? It's a compliment.
My tip for getting in shape, in terms of fitness-wise?
This summer, well, in this current situation we're in, yeah.
Wow. See, again, we're quite lucky. We get sent all these fitness programs, and I suppose gym programs that we're able to do at home. We got sent a bit of equipment as well, but I've always been. I've always done a lot of push-ups, which anyone's able to do. Push-ups and sit-ups, I think, are a great upper body and core workout.
Yeah.
And I love my running as well. Obviously, we get this hour of outdoor physical exercise that we're allowed to do. So, any bit of running you can do. If you've never really done a lot of running, even I always say to my friends and family, just start with walking, even if it's just a steady power walk for 15, 20 minutes, and then gradually build up into a slow jog. And I think that stands you in good stead to get in good physical shape. And like I touched on earlier, just good for the mental health as well. Very
true. I've actually just been on a run tonight. A lot of the Barmy Army members wouldn't believe me, but I have. So that's good to hear. Now, we're back on the catchers, Joe. Arthur was asked,
here we go.
Which is your best catch, in your opinion? 2019 Ashes, Shane Watson in the warm-up, or in 2015, game in 2015, or the PSL screamer?
How's he plucked the Shane Watson one out there? That's unbelievable. He must have been watching it. That must be a Kent fan.
Got to be.
Yeah. Because, that was sort of a pre-Ashes warm-up they played against us, Kent.
Mm-hmm.
That was a backward point as well, left-handed diving. That was a good one. And I enjoyed the Ashes one, don't get me wrong, but the PSL one, I don't know if you've seen it, but yeah, that would be my number one. I think in terms of it was at maximum reach. I don't think I could have dived and reached any further, and almost took it behind me. Not quite as good as Stokes at Gully, Adam Bodies, but yeah, it was a nice one. So that would probably be my number one.
Let's hope that they get that on YouTube when they search Joe Denley catch. But can't.
Well, it used to be on there, but it's a bit down the list now. Unfortunately, there's a lot of drop catches before that.
Oh dear. Now, what was it like playing against Steve Smith for England? Connor Stevenson has asked. What was it like playing against him?
Annoying.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal, wasn't he? And it's nothing against our bowlers. Our bowlers are fantastic in that series, but I just if as soon as if he faced 10, 15 balls and he was 10 not out, I didn't see how we were getting him out. It was freakish. I've never played against someone who I haven't thought you got a chance of getting him out. There is a chance. He just made it look so easy. It was demoralising. He's got his own way of batting, hasn't he? And yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I've never been involved where I've been fielding and thought, oh, we've not got a chance of getting this bloke out. But he's the only one that's happened to. Even when it hit him on the pads, he's a foot outside off stump. And it's just, oh God, like, you can't bowl him. I mean, I felt sorry for the bowlers at some point, but yeah, annoyingly good.
Yes, annoying to watch, but also you got to take your hat off, haven't you? I think for the full Ashes tour, he was getting a lot of stick, and then in the final Test match, I think he finally convinced people to clap him. So hats off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he won quite a few people over. That is for sure. Not like I don't think his mate did at the top of the order, but yeah, Steve Smith certainly.
I think we'll not go into much more detail on that, but we certainly enjoy his mate. Now, Jack Conlon has said, Dennis, he obviously knows you personally, would he challenge you to a dance on Instagram? Is it one way?
Yeah, see, Woody stitched me up there because Woody went on Instagram, on social media, and said, Joe Denley challenged me to do this dance. I did not challenge him to do anything. I sent him a private message of the video of that guy dancing and said, Woody, it would be so funny if you recreated this video. It wasn't a challenge. I just politely asked him. So, and then he come on social media and said I challenged him, and then he's challenged me now. And yeah, it just annoyed me a little bit. I still might do it, but yeah, it was never a challenge.
Very good to hear. Now, we've got a question on the live stream that's actually from my missus, and she's asked, how much trouble were you in when you went back into the game the day after your wife gave birth?
How much trouble was I in? No, none at all, actually. The wife knows priorities. She's in the front room, the door's closed, so she can't hear. No, it was all right. I got a good full night with them both. And yeah, unfortunately, that was just the way the dates worked. I think that the wife's very understanding, bless her, of my cricket career. She's an incredible mum. She's been a single parent, bless her, for most of our two child's lives so far. So she's quite enjoying this isolation where she's got a bit of help.
Good.
But no, I wasn't in too much trouble. It was all good.
Did you have a busy day the next day? I can't remember. Were you batting the next day? Is that right?
No, we was fielding. And to be fair, I would have stayed behind and spent a bit more time with them. But Jason Roy was 12th man at the time, so he was fielding for me. So I could just imagine him very angry with me in the field and just counting down every minute that I was making him having to field for. So I thought I'd better get back and relieve him of his duties, bless him.
Right, so back to the live stream. We've got a question saying, who's your closest mate in the England setup?
Currently, it would be closest mate. I suppose So I get on well with all of them, and it's a bit of a cliche, but literally everyone gets on really well with everyone. It'd be hard to sort of single anyone out. I always enjoy, actually. I quite enjoy the Surrey boys. So like your Curran brothers, Rory Burns. They're always good value. There's always good banter flying to and from us. Obviously, being a Kent boy, they think we're a minor county, so there's always a lot of banter flying around there. So yeah, probably those lads.
Excellent. Now we've also had a question saying from, can't say your name, sorry mate, but hey Joe, were you a big Kent fan growing up before you played for Kent? What was your favourite or worst moment as a fan?
What was my favourite or worst moment as a fan?
If you were a fan.
Before I played for Kent?
Yeah.
Oh, good question.
How's your memory?
I always remember. Yeah, not great. I always remember going to watch Kent beat Lashing's game at Canterbury, which was pretty incredible. Some pretty big names playing. So yeah, that was a pretty cool night. Can't really tell you much what happened in the game, but I do remember going to watch that. So
excellent.
That's probably up there.
Very good, very good. Now we're going to ask 2 or 3 more questions. If you've got any more questions on the live stream, make sure you send them in now, and I will ask them Joe before we can let him go. Now, a question has come in saying, what was it like to play in the PSL and the IPO? What are those? What they like to play in?
Yeah, amazing. Although, to be fair, the IPL, I spent most of the time sitting on the bench and carrying drinks. Played 1 game, faced 1 ball, and didn't bowl a ball. So that wasn't a great experience, obviously, playing that game, but amazing to be a part of. The crowds, as you all know, it's in India, cricket's like a religion, and I was lucky enough to have Eden Gardens as my home ground. And every game was a sellout. You can hardly hear yourself think. It was an incredible atmosphere, great competition. And the PSL, I played a couple of times and really enjoyed it there as well. Again, both IPL and PSL, lovely people, very welcoming, very friendly. You really made to feel at home. And I really hope that I get the opportunity to go back and play in the PSL or IPL again, because I got some very good memories and made some very good friends as well.
Is it difficult in the changing rooms when you're with people all over the world that all play for different international teams, or do you just click straight away because you're under the same umbrella?
No, it's not. It's actually one of the best parts of it. I think is all coming together. There's and again, I suppose it's making memories. I think everyone kind of goes in with that kind of attitude. There's no, the teams I've been involved in, there's generally been pretty good lads that want to sort of muck in and get to know each other, and I suppose bond over the few weeks that we have together, and again make memories that you wouldn't get the opportunity to do playing in your own countries. And it's a great opportunity, I suppose, to learn off these guys as well, playing with some of the best in the world. And it's just a great opportunity, really. So I really enjoyed spending time with all the local players and the other overseas that come over from various different countries. It's always good fun.
Very good. Now, Millie Floyd has asked this 3 times, so I'm going to have to ask it. Who was the best player at Chaucer School when you were growing up?
Who was the best player
at Chaucer when you were growing up? Is that? I'm guessing that's called Millie Floyd.
Who was the best player at Chaucer? You see, at my school, Chaucer, that they're talking about, we had 1 artificial wicket that we shared with the other school next door. So we didn't really have any cricket facilities or a proper cricket team. We played in like shorts and t-shirt and
excellent
borrowed kit. It wasn't some of these private schools that have amazing facilities and it's proper cricket. I don't know who the best player was.
I think that's
We had a
been a
few-
fancy job. I think that's a good
Yeah,
answer. That's a very good.
there you go.
So Chris Herbst has asked if you actually hear the chants when you're on the field from the Barmy Army.
Absolutely. It's one of the best things. I'll take you back to day one of the Ashes at Edgbaston. I've never had anything like it. Literally, I've no word of a lie. The hairs on the back of my neck and my arms were standing up when, you're all singing. And I always remember Broady coming up to me, because obviously it's my first experience of an Ashes series, and he sort of just come up to me and goes, "How good is this?" And I was just like, gobsmacked. It was incredible. So yes, in answer to your question, we hear every single song, and it does keep us going. You often hear players say, our fans are like our 12th man." Mm-hmm. You always hear it, but it is literally the case with the Barmy Army. They're fantastic. I can't speak highly enough of you guys, to be honest. Your support and all your singing and everything, it goes a long way, and please continue to do it, because I can assure you it certainly helps.
You'll be joining us in the stands one day then, I hope.
Absolutely, without doubt.
Very good. Arthur has asked a question. Is there ever conflict between Kent batsmen and ground staff, with the ground being low scoring over the last few years?
No, not now Keezy's left. Not now he's retired.
Good answer.
I think, yeah, no. We love our groundsman, bless him. He tries his best, but what can you do? We've got a massive slope.
A bit better than Chaucer, but there we are. Now,
yeah.
How much of an influence did Graham Ford have on your career?
Yeah, he was a big influence. He was obviously one of my first coaches when I went into the Kent team, and obviously a fantastic coach at that. He not necessarily a very technical coach, but a very good man manager. I think understood his players really well, and he'd throw balls to you all day long, which is obviously great as being a batter. So yeah, he was a great influence, very calming character around the place and pretty chilled. But yeah,
very good.
Good man.
Ed Haynes has asked, if you could have one song rewritten with your lyrics in, what song would you choose?
Oh dear, not a clue. My knowledge of songs is so bad as well. Don't know, a little Westlife anthem.
A little Westlife anthem. Rogue.
Yeah, why not?
Rogue, I like that. I can see Gossy scribbling it down already. Now, I've got to give a shout out to Jade here, who has called her dog after you. Her Cocker Spaniel is now called Denley from the South Africa tour. So there we are.
Wow.
Did you?
Great.
You'd have that.
Yeah, incredible. There was a lady I think got a Denley tattoo as well from that Headingley game. When we got bowled out, in that first innings for 60 odd, and I think I top scored with 12. I think she bet one of her friends that if England won this game from this position, she would get Denley 12 tattooed on her backside, and
she has done.
Bless her heart, she stuck to her promise. Yeah, she's got a nice Denley tattoo on her backside, so there you go.
Oh, amazing. What a way to draw this to a close. Now, I've got to ask you this question. Toby Brearley, I know you know him. He has asked, can you stand on one leg?
What a question. Of course I can, for Toby. I'll stand on my chair for him. There you go, Tobes.
There you go, Tobes. Happy days. Proved it.
Good man.
Absolutely. And just want to, the final question. We've asked this everyone. Who's the longest in the shower?
Oh. Jofra takes ages in the shower.
Same answer as Woody. Great to hear. Now, Thank you for that, Joe, and a massive thanks and shout out to Matt Goss, who's I know is a good pal of yours and myself, and he's helped put this on. So thanks, Gossy, appreciate it. And Joe, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone that has commented, liked, shared all of our work over this isolation period. It's not easy, but we're trying to keep as much entertainment coming for the followers of the Barmy Army and cricket in general. So if you want to hear anything else, please get in touch. We're all here for you. Thanks to Joe. Thanks to everyone for watching. Good night all.
Cheers, pal.